Hey everybody. I'm creating this video just at a quick laughter slash um, I don't know, call it being intrigued slash being humored, even at my own self, because we're all perpetrators of it. But my one of my friends decided that he wanted to start getting into big data and doing analysis and doing analytics and creating reports and using visualization tools and Power BI and strictly Power BI is what we're talking about here. And uh, I was talking to him today and asked him how's everything going. He basically told me like I stopped doing it because I didn't have access to data. I was like, then how do you expect to you know do some analytics and analysis and learn how to use visualization tools? Um, it's like, yeah, exactly. He's like, you have access to all this data because your clients give it to you. Can you send me some of the data? I said, no, I can't, obviously, because most of it's proprietary and private, um, or it's from APIs with private token keys. So I was like, no, I can't do that. But I mean, not having access to data, in my opinion, is not an excuse, because you can generate fake data pretty quickly. There's tons of websites that will generate fake data for you. I mean, it won't generate a lot of data, but it'll generate some fake data. And you could probably even generate better than what I'm about to show you really fast. So you probably generate better fake data inside of Excel because you can do it in chunks if you spend a little more time. But generally speaking, I mean, I can create 2, 3 plus years of data in a matter of moments using Power BI and using some DAX. Um, so without further ado, I'll just quickly show it. I'm making this video mainly for him and a couple other people that have asked me how to make fake data to do quick visualizations to get a concept to somebody. And so I'm just going to quickly show you how I would go about doing it. I'd probably, again, take some of this data, throw it in Excel, and spend a little more time creating some fake data sets for myself to play with. But generally speaking, we're going to do it real quick. So we're going to hit the new table button and under the modeling tab, and we're going to call this our sales table. And we're going to create a calendar, and in the calendar, we're going to go ahead and give it a date of, let's say 1st of 2016, um, and an end date of today. Okay, gives you about 3 years of data. Okay, if we look at our modeling now, we have date, and there it is. All of our raw data. We have 3.5 years of data now. Now again, as I said, it's not like the best data because technically the uh, you want like chunks, multiple cells on one day, but in this case, you have every single day listed. It gives you something. So we'll create a column, for example, and call it price for the price per unit, and I'm just going to use rand between. Literally, $1 to $19 a unit. We're gonna do a new column for quantity, and we'll do another rand between. Between zero items, let's say, so we can have some zeros on some days, and I don't know, six, and we're gonna do a column amount. So this will be according to our new sales, quantity plus price or times price. So sales, and there we go. We got our amount column. We can just simply throw some currency on the price, the currency columns from formatting, and leave the quantity column as a numeric value. Date column is already as a date. You can even see it already generated its hierarchy here. So we did give it a date type, and we have some general sales data for 3.5 years in less than what, 2 minutes. We can also extend this. We can create a new column of product ID. Let's say, for example, I'll just call it product just to make it easier. equals to rand between. We'll give it an ID of 1 to 5, and we'll create a new table and call it products, and we will uh, give it a rand between of, or no, we'll generate a series, I'm sorry, and we'll do 1 to 5, so we don't have to type it in manually. And we'll rename this column to ID and add a new column and be super lazy, and we'll call it um, name, and we'll do bottle or concatenation of, I don't know, a bottle, why not, and then concatenate the products table ID. So we just have an iteration, 1 to 5 bottles. There you go. And look at that. I have 3.5 years of data with products and sales, and that's it. It's super simple. There's not a huge ordeal about it. I created that data set in all but a couple seconds, just using some of the tools that I have at my exposure. Um, and I think, again, we're all victim to this. I think that we overthink things or underthink things sometimes, and we don't think about out of the box. And this is a way to create some data really quick that you can do for concepts, that's completely out of the box. Thinking outside the box, I should say. Because we're so used to people who do data analysis for a living and do data analysis even as a consultation basis. We're dealing with a lot of data all the time, and we're not. We're used to be given data, or we're used to creating queries and data structure and data sets that are getting refreshed through gateways all the time, and we're used to having that data at our fingertips, that we don't really have to worry about generating data, so to speak. But when you first play around, I mean, you may not have access to that data. Um, there's some maybe some data sets online you can download and import them, sure. Like even mail statistics, census statistics, pretty much any stats out there, you can download that data. And it all depends on where you're going at within your analyst role as well. If you're going to go into the financial sector, or if you're going to go into statistics for scientific research or whatever. A lot of this stuff really plays with what area you're going into, what kind of data set you should download and play with. But generally speaking, just a standard data set like this, it's financial, sure, but I can add a line chart. I can say, give me the sales amount for the product and over a period of time. And the reason why it's not showing all weird in one line is because we actually need to go to our managed relationships. We'll actually just go to the diagram here and just drag it and be lazy. And there we go. So now we have it all correct. We didn't have a relationship between the two tables. Just generated them randomly. So now we have dynamic data, fun, easy to play with. We can see that bottle 4 is kicking butt compared to the rest of them. And we can have some fun inserting slicers. Oops, nope, I want to go back to here, and I want to insert a slicer. Nope, I said slicer, wrong thing. And I want to throw, for example, a date range in there. Boom. So now I can slice and dice and see how it looks over certain periods of time. See how all the different metrics change over time. I can add multiple slicers in here, so maybe I want to see, how much, or just change even like the quantity. So to take a look at a little bit different way, I can say, okay, I want to look at the quantity values, the count. Oh, come on, stop that and go. Get rid of the amounts, and I'm just interested in the quantity that was purchased. And with that, I want to see the quantity over time of each bottle that was purchased. I don't really care about maybe the sales, but I want to see the quantity. And that's another way of doing it. And you can see, you can visualize this with a pie chart. You can visualize this with anything really. So, yeah, something that you guys might want to think about. Maybe you add a slicer for the value, so maybe the quantity is also relative to the value, so you can throw that in there instead of the date. So you can say all items that were in between this range. So I know that these bottles should be selling quite a bit because of the value of the bottle. So a lot of different things you could do to analyze the data in different ways. And again, this is financial data, but I was able to generate this pretty fast. You can play around with it over time and change and see who's your winner. And a funneling chart even. So, I mean, this could go, you can change this right over, start generating sales statistics. I mean, for like bigger sales, so you would put bigger numbers in here. And this would be your funneling chart of your different customers. Maybe you could generate a thing of customers. So, the sky is the limit, but I guess the main point is the sky is the limit, but the excuse of not having access to data, I find to be a little bit funny from my friend. So if you guys are struggling with data, remember, you can use Excel, you can use Power BI with some DAX to create some data randomly, or you can just literally Google data sets and just go find some data that's been stuck in a JSON file, stuck in, a Excel file or anything, and copy it into your system. Power BI allows you to have access to a lot of different data sources. I mean, you can you can grab a JSON file right here. I mean, it doesn't have to be on your local computer. Even you can have a copy a URL and paste it in, and your computer will automatically cache and forward it for you. You could pull, random JSON. I've seen people, like, for example, here I can get a list of users by going to this one website and just copying their web request, and that they say that they allow for free, and if it returns a JSON, I can say get data from web, and I just paste it in and hit OK, and there's no authentication, so just hit connect, and there you go. So I have a JSON that gives me a source. This doesn't actually file as JSON. Yeah, it should be, but I don't know. Oh, here's the data list. Okay, so I can go into the data list, and then under this, I can come in and I can say to table. Not many people know that you can do this. Expand it. Pick out what columns I want, and boom, you now have, obviously this is only 3 records, but you can get potentially a very large data set just by getting some API requests that a friend hands you or whatever that give you a list. And it was that simple. I just simply hit close and apply, and I have new data. Look at that. So there's a lot of ways to get data into Power BI. I'm really, really, really shocked and really, really happy with some of the stuff that Microsoft has done and all the different data sources that they have. Especially recently, there a lot of people are jumping in the game. Even what was the one that I saw that was kind of a shock for me, anyways. It doesn't necessarily mean for everyone else it was a shock, but for me, I found that Stripe is not a shock, but QuickBooks Online, you would think that they have their own reporting solution and everything else, but I was really shocked that no, they're completely open to being in the BI world, which is kind of cool. Um, but some people don't. They think QuickBooks Online has their own reporting solution. They're the best thing. So little things of that nature. I would say that it's kind of cool that everyone is jumping on the BI world and creating their own BI webhooks and BI APIs that can be pulled in. Um, and we always have our gateways so we can connect to our local line of business apps. But anyways, that's getting off on a different topic. The topic was you have access to data no matter what. There's tons of data on the internet, and data shouldn't be an excuse for you not to keep learning. All right. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye bye.